Welcome in, everybody. This is your boy Recap. Tiffy, Noah, how you guys feeling today? Welcome in. Great to see all y'all people. Get ready to get started in a second. I know you feeling good about that. Getting off of work is always a great feeling. Noah, how you feeling today, man? I was hungover. Oh my Lord. I think my chat is messed up on my program. All right, everybody, welcome in. This is your boy Retro Recap, back with the Double R podcast. Hope you guys are feeling well. Because guess what? I'm feeling well. You know why I'm feeling well? Because the Ravens won yesterday. So there's always going to be a smile on my face when the Ravens win. You can feel the energy coming out of my words right now. The Ravens are 10-3. First place in the whole AFC. First place. Tied for first place in the whole NFL. The 49ers are 10-3. The Cowboys are 10-3. The Eagles are 10-3. The Ravens are 10-3. If you're a Ravens fan out there, how does that make you feel? I feel good knowing that the Baltimore Ravens have a chance of going far this year. If we look in the AFC, Kansas City is having a down year. The Buffalo Bills are having a down year, even though they beat Kansas City yesterday. Yeah, the Miami Dolphins are a very good team. I think we can match up pretty good with the Miami Dolphins. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who we play next week, I think we match up against them pretty well. This is the chance for the Ravens to go all the way. Definitely to the Super Bowl. I truly believe that. I truly believe the Ravens can go a long way. Before we get into the podcast, I am officially partnered with Sly. So on your screen, you can see the Sly information there. I've actually tried all of these drinks so far, and all of them are good. The Boost and the Chill are really, really good. And the Dream, if you want to have a nice little, what's the word? Slumber. The Sly Dream will get you where you need to be. If you need a nice little sleep, try it out. My QR code's on the screen. The link is also on the screen. If you are interested in trying these drinks, I have tried all of them, and I like them all. But if you need a boost in your system, trust me, the Sly Boost will get you there. The Sly Boost will get you there. It'll get you up. It'll get you ready. Why do you think I'm so amped up right now? Because I had a Sly Boost. I am up. I am ready to roll. I've got the energy. But if you just want to relax and chill and vibe and chill and vibe, go try out that Sly Chill. It'll have you feeling very relaxed. And then the Sly Dream. You ready to go to bed? You ready to have a good night's sleep? Try that Sly Dream. The QR code's on the screen. The link is on the screen. If you need to see it again before the end of the show, let me know. Support a brother, support Sly. I think they're pretty good. On top of that, the ingredients, there is no nonsense in the ingredients. Pure vitamins and minerals in an energy drink. I mean, that's what we're looking for. We don't need all this nonsense in our drink. We just want to have a nice drink that provides some nice vitamins and minerals. So go ahead and get your Sly drink now. All right, back to the Ravens. The Ravens beat the Los Angeles Rams 37-31 yesterday on maybe what consider some to be the game of the year. It was a very good game. Up and down, up and down, up and down. For much of the first half, the Rams were in control. The Ravens came off their bye week, and I was wondering, what is this team going to look like after the bye week? They're playing pretty solid football, and when you have a week off, there may be a sense of rust. The defense, which has been playing great all year long, every single game the defense has been playing solid. This is the one game where the defense was like, They made stops when they needed to, but this was more like a bend and don't break type of defensive performance yesterday. The Rams were able to run the ball effectively. Stafford, off the play action, was able to pick apart with Cooper Kupp, which we all know Cooper Kupp is a dynamic wide receiver. So we already know this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give the defense a pass because they got the stop when they needed to in overtime, which we'll get into a little bit. They got the stop when they need to get the stop. And so championship defenses do that. You're not gonna be dominant every single game, even though the Ravens defense for the most part this year has been dominant almost every single game. The Cleveland Browns game the second time around, maybe not, but there's not too many games where this defense is getting shredded. We haven't seen that. Nonetheless, Tylan Wallace, a guy the Ravens drafted a couple years ago, I want to say it was in 2021. And since he's been drafted, he has not really got much playing time as a wide receiver or a punt returner. As a matter of fact, I think this game right here, when Devin Duvernay got hurt, Tylan Wallace, this is the first time Tylan Wallace has returned a punt since he's been drafted in 2021. And look what happens. He gets the game-winning walk-off touchdown on a punt return. Now, we do not wish injury on anybody, because I love Devin Duvernay. I really do. He has great straightaway speed. But the one thing that Tylan Wallace offers you that Duvernay doesn't is the ability to make cuts, to make moves. Devin Duvernay is a straightaway sprinter. He's not gonna juke you. He's not gonna shake you. He's not gonna give you this green eggs and ham. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna give you this shake and bake. But what he is gonna give you, he's gonna give you straight line speed. He's going to give you straight line speed. So what that means is if there is a hole, he can run through that hole no problem, because with that kind of speed that he has, no one's going to catch him. What Tylan Wallace offers is a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And sometimes as a punt returner, that's all you need is a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of breaking tackles to take it to the house. And that's exactly what he did. He gave you a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Oh, I'm gonna break this tackle here. I'm gonna run down the side. I'm gonna keep my feet in bounds on the sideline. My feet are gonna be in bounds. You're not gonna catch me. That's what Tylan Wallace did, which is why he scored. I want to give a big clap it up for Tylan Wallace. He did what he had to do to be a clutch performer. As I was first watching the play, I was like, all right, he's gonna get some nice yards here, but I don't think he has enough to score a touchdown here. Then when he broke that leg tackle on the sideline and he kept going, I was like, oh my goodness, he's taking it all away. I couldn't believe what I was watching here. Tylan Wallace, a guy that barely returns punts. Since he's barely been a receiver catching passes, makes the critical play of the game to seal the deal for the Ravens against the Rams. Who would have thought a special teams play would be the reason why the Ravens win in overtime? I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. Great stuff by Tylan Wallace. Noah says, I will say the defense did their job, but the game shouldn't have been that close in my opinion. I'm going to be real with you. The defense did what they had to do in spots. But if you look at the overall game, I don't think the defense did everything in this game like they normally do. The Rams were moving the ball against this defense, but when the defense need to make stops and make plays, they did so. Geno Stone with a big play. Who else? Kyle Hamilton, well, when he was in there, made big plays. Justin Matabike, when he needs to get a sack to shut the drive down, he does that. The Davion Clowney getting pressure. You know what I'm saying? When they need to make plays in this game, plays were made. You would have loved to see the defense stop the Rams on that last drive before overtime, because the Rams did drive down the field and get in the field goal range. I was hoping the defense could shut the door down on that. And when Matthew Stafford threw that fade route, I don't know what kind of route it was, fade or post route, where Marlon Humphrey had two hands on the ball, but DeMarcus Robinson knocked the ball out of his hand. I thought that was the game sealer right there. I thought Marlon Humphrey had that interception and was getting ready to close the door on this game. But DeMarcus Robinson got his hand in there, and Marlon Humphrey couldn't secure the ball. Because if Marlon Humphrey caught the interception, game's over. The game wouldn't even have gone into overtime. And I was like, damn, if the Ravens lose this game when Marlon Humphrey had the ball in his hand, all you can say is damn. Damn. But it's all good, because the defense and even though the Ravens offense didn't do anything in the first possession in overtime, 3 and out, the defense went and shut down Matthew Stafford in overtime, which allowed Tylan Wallace to do what he did and score that touchdown. All right, Tiffy, you get home safe, baby. You get home safe. Watching it live, I thought he stepped out of bounds. Yes, and honestly, I thought the same thing. He was tiptoeing, and see, the camera angle that you see when the play is happening live, you can't really tell if the player's out of bounds. That's always the case when you see those sideline runs, is that the camera angle that you get is hard to really see until you see the replay. Once they showed us the replay, I was like, oh yeah, he's in bounds. He kept both feet in bounds, but watching it live, yeah, you couldn't tell if he was out of bounds or not. You couldn't tell. And that's the beautiful thing about replay, is that replay is going to allow us to see if he was in bounds or not. But real time, I was like, oh shit. I'm liking what I'm seeing, but the one concern I always have in my mind is, did he step out of bounds? Because you know the announcers are always gonna hype that shit up. Oh, did he step out of bounds? Don't even put that out there, because the minute they put that out there, I'm like, oh, maybe he did step out of bounds, and now they're gonna review this shit, and we might take this play back. But reality is, he stayed in bounds. He did what he had to do. Touchdown Ravens, man. Clap it up for Tylan Wallace. But nevertheless, he did what he had to do. Exactly. He did what he had to do. And like I said, a player that doesn't get much playing time made the biggest play of the game. And I'm very ecstatic for Tylan Wallace. Does this mean future opportunities or more opportunities for him in the future? I don't know. But he did his job. Excuse me. He did his job in this game. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be Superman every single game, especially not Tylan Wallace. He had his Superman moment. He took advantage of it. I'm very happy for him. If he never gets that moment again, the one highlight of his career is he got that. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping for more highlights for Tylan Wallace, but if he never has a highlight like that again, he got that. And he can always look back 10 years from now and be like, I returned that kick against the Rams for a touchdown for the game winner. And if the Ravens go on to win the Super Bowl, that is going to be a highlight of his career. I helped the Ravens get to 10-3. My punt return has helped the Ravens get to 10-3. And we won a Super Bowl to cap it off. Because you know when the team wins a Super Bowl and they show the highlights of each individual game leading up to that Super Bowl, you know they're going to show that play. You know they're going to show Tylan Wallace taking it all the way for a touchdown. You know they're going to do that. And so he gets to look back and like, damn, I made that play to seal the game. If the Ravens win the Super Bowl, we're going to go back and look at that play like, because the Ravens have a tough schedule. They got Jacksonville, they got San Francisco, they got Miami, and they got the Steelers. You lose this game. I mean, as good as I think the Ravens are, you lose this game, I don't know what's next. Because you got Jacksonville on the road, you got San Francisco on the road, you got Miami at home, and the Steelers at home. If the Ravens lost this game, these teams coming up are no slouch. These are all losable games for the Ravens. Do I think they're going to win 2 out of 3? I do think they're going to win 2 out of 3. I think they're going to lose that San Francisco game, and I think they're going to take care of business against Jacksonville, and I think they're going to beat Miami. The San Francisco game, San Francisco is playing really good, and it's at home. So that's going to be a tough one. If the Ravens win that, good Lord. We have to be the Super Bowl favorite because San Francisco beat Philly, right? I don't think Cowboys are better than San Francisco. I think San Francisco is the best team in the league. So if the Ravens beat them in their stadium, the Ravens have to be the favorites. And if they beat the Miami, you know what I'm saying? I think they're going to win 2 out of 3. I don't know. I really do believe the 49ers game might be a tough one. Okay. But does this make the argument, does he stay as a returner? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I like that question. Here's the thing. Knowing the Ravens, they're not going to do that. If Duvernay is healthy to play, Duvernay is your number 1. Because let's not act crazy like Duvernay has never returned a kick for a touchdown. Duvernay has a few touchdowns. I remember Duvernay a couple years ago against Kansas City. He had a touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown. Duvernay at least has 2 or 3 return touchdowns in his career. He was a Pro Bowl returner the last couple years, right? He was, even though the Pro Bowl don't mean much, it is an accolade on your resume saying you are good. So I do not think the Ravens are going to all of a sudden remove Duvernay, put Tylan Wallace in because he made a highlight play. Duvernay has made a few of those in his career. It's a reason why Tylan Wallace was the backup. Now, if Duvernay can't play, then yes, Tylan Wallace is your guy. But I don't think you do it, and I don't think the Ravens are just gonna replace a guy that's been a Pro Bowl returner for the last 2 years. I don't see them doing that. I don't. But that's a great question that you presented. It is a really great question because he made the highlight play, and your brain psychologically, you're thinking, okay, we want to see more of this because look what he did. But let's not forget what Devin Duvernay has done. He's led the league in punt return average the last 2 seasons. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying, it's not like he's a slouch. You know what I'm saying, Noah? He's not a slouch. So that's the thing. He's not a slouch. Sorry, give me 1 second, y'all. He's not a slouch. So when you're factoring that in, Noah, think about that. Like Devin Duvernay has been to a Pro Bowl the last 2 seasons. He's made the All-Pro team as a kick returner the last couple seasons. So I don't think you just get rid of that. I really don't think you get rid of that. All right, I'm trying to find somewhere to put this code. Make sure you go check out that link, by the way. I don't know if y'all can see it really well, but if you can't see it, let me know. You said or imagine if there was a holding. Yeah. There's a lot of circumstances that I get concerned about when big plays like that happen. Is it a holding? Is it an illegal block in the back? Did he step out of bounds? There's a lot of plays. There's a lot of things that go through my mind when big plays like that happen because you just don't know. You really just don't know. You know what I'm saying? But luckily for the Ravens, business was handled. You know what I'm saying? And everything was legit. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, because even if he doesn't start as a returner, he will at least open the door for better opportunities. Yeah, for himself. I think he's a free agent coming up in the next year. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, Noah, and you know this because you watch sports. What you do on tape matters. Now, if the Ravens do let him go, which I don't see why they would, because I think he has potential. I don't know if Rashad Bateman is going to be back the way he's been playing, but we'll get into that a little bit later. What you do on tape goes a long way for other teams. So the fact that they see him return a kickoff or a punt return for a touchdown, other teams are going to want that on their roster. Because how many guys in the league have a punt return for a touchdown? It's not many. Tylan Wiles is on that list. So he's accomplished something. He deserves to be on somebody's roster, whether it's the Ravens or somebody else, because on tape, you have yourself returning a touchdown for the game winner. For the game winner. Like that makes a difference. For the game winner. No, not too many people in the league have done that. Tylan Wiles has done that. So on tape, teams are going to be like, okay, this guy has potential. The Ravens may have not given him a huge opportunity, but we will. Or the Ravens could be like, we know what we got here, but you got OBJ in front of you, you got Rashad Bateman, you got Zay Flowers, you got Aguilar. We don't have a lot of opportunities to give you, but maybe in the next couple years, when OBJ's not here anymore, when Rashad Bateman may not be here anymore, we're going to open the door for you to go off. You know what I'm saying? So what he did yesterday matters because it's on tape. A lot of times people be like, oh, he has potential. He has potential. But is it on tape? Can we see this potential? We actually have this on tape. So we can actually say Tylan Wiles is legit. He can do something good. Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, let's go ahead and get into. I want to talk about Lamar. I want to talk about Kyle Hamilton, and I want to talk about some other things. But let's get into John Harbaugh's press conference real fast, and then we're gonna continue with the podcast because I want to hear let's hear what John Harbaugh had to say about the game yesterday, and then we'll continue on. We'll continue on. Okay, is that cool with y'all? We'll continue on.
Okay, just a tremendous, amazing victory, and congratulations to our players for making the plays when they had to be made, and also to the Rams. That's a really good football team. Sean had those guys ready to play. They played great football. Stafford, Donald, the defense, every one of their players played great football the whole game. It was a hard-fought win. One thing I want to share with you is kind of what we shared with the team this week, and the guys talked about the time of year, all right, and the fact that there are moments in life, and this is your time. All right, 500 years from now, none of us are going to be around. 500 years from now, none of us were here. So we're given this time with these people in this place for a purpose. And there's December, and the time is December. And December football has a meaning to it. All right, and it's preparation for great events to come. And you got to put yourself in position with December football for what's to come. It's also the Advent season. Advent comes from the Latin adventos, which means anticipation and preparation for an amazing event, which is the coming of our Savior. And celebrating the Christ, all right? The good news that changes the world and changes it for all eternity. And so I think our guys showed an amazing display of December football.
And historically, the Ravens do normally play good in December, historically.
Exciting, wasn't it? So I was talking into the phones to myself. I shut the deal off so nobody could hear me. And I just kind of said, well, there's nothing you can do right now, you know. I guess I was talking to God. And I said, you know, some overtime, the end of the game, and overtime football, the players' game. It's a players' game, and the game belongs to the players. And the players will find a way to step up and make plays. And that's how these games are won, and that's what our guys did. And that's the amazing event I'm talking about this December, in this game, in this stadium today, December football. And I just couldn't be more proud of those guys because it was mountains and valleys. There was peaks and there was lows in that game. It's a National Football League in December against a very worthy opponent. And our guys just weathered all those storms, figuratively and literally out there, and found a way to make those plays to win the game at the end. As a coach, there's nothing better than that. What questions you have?
John, who reminded you that you had to go shake the hands of the opposing head coach?
Oh, yeah. Well, here's what happened, Mike. I ran all the way down there, and I tried to get involved. I was diving over the top of the pile and everything. And it was fast. I mean, I went really fast in my own mind, right? I jumped around. Then I lost my headset and everything. And then I think God probably reminded me. I got the Holy Spirit, maybe something. It was a small, still voice in my head. Said, you got to go shake hands with Sean, who was my friend. And so I ran back, and all my legs, lactic acid had built up, and I had nothing left. All right, so I cramped up on the way back. But
that man cramped up. That's crazy. He's like 60 years old, right? 60, 70, 65 years old?
Game in overtime, right? But what does it mean to a team when a guy like Tylan Wallace makes the play to win it? I mean, you take it any way, Lamar, the offense, Zay, Odell, but it's Tylan who does it. What does it mean in a broader sense to the team?
That, to me, is a really great point, because you're talking about amazing events, right? And that's the beauty of football. That's the amazing thing about football. It is the ultimate team game, right? And the guys were so happy for Tylan in the locker room. You'll see the celebration in the locker room after the game with all the water and everything, and the guys going crazy. When you see it, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. That celebration right there is what it means.
John, normally we'll have 3 or 4 or 5 guys practice punt returning in any given week during practice.
Right.
Whose decision is it to Duvernay's down, Wallace? Why Wallace?
Well, he was our guy. That was already set. So that was the pecking order, so to speak. And then the other person in there is Zay Flowers, which we did talk about and considered putting Zay out there too. But Tylan really, here's a veteran player, 4th-year guy who's kind of been through it, And you just kind of felt like, it wasn't a conscious thing. It's like, you just felt like, oh, he deserves it. He's ready for that moment. Now, did you think he's going to take it back to the house? No. But I thought he'd catch it, maybe make a guy miss. And you could see how tough it was to catch.
I thought he was too.
So,
I didn't think he was going to take it all away.
Amazing advent.
John, you were describing, obviously, your run to be part of the celebration. I think we saw you on camera screaming right into the camera. Can you think of a win that you got caught up in emotionally that didn't involve playoffs like this one?
I can't. I don't know.
If you're living.
So, yeah, he's absolutely. I didn't think he was going to take it to the house either. You know what I'm saying? He surprised everybody. But, hey, I'm happy about it.
Really special. I don't know why it was so emotional, this one. I don't have any idea why. I don't know if there's probably no logic to it. It just was.
Given what you all think this team can do you like having a moment like this euphoric moment where you kind of pull yourself out of the fire, not just another routine win? Is there something to be said for this and sort of the story of your season, you think?
Well, it's a chapter written in the story, and we'll see. That's the thing. It's like, will we be looking back at this moment saying it was a galvanizing moment? The team has been galvanized. So maybe the galvanization is reflected, in a moment like this, and for everybody to see. I think the guys all know that already. But, hey, you know what? We got a really tough game in Jacksonville coming up on Sunday night, right? So that's what we'll be thinking about after we get back to work. For now, we're all going to go have a nice evening.
Talk about Lamar's play, particularly that last drive in regulation, and then to have this type of game in those type of conditions.
Yeah, Lamar deserves so much credit. You forget Lamar sometimes. All these other things are happening, and we're not going to talk about Lamar Jackson, who drove the offense. Okay, and then guys stepped up and made plays, but his poise in the pocket. How about the
especially that last drive?
Times when he had a lot of time back there in the pocket and could kind of search things out. And I give their coverage a lot of credit too. But our guys runs around, scrambles, finds guys downfield. He's a very unique player.
Oh, he's 61 years old? Okay, thank you for that. I know he's like 60-something.
Player, but he's one of a kind. There's nobody like Lamar Jackson.
Put up any update, Kyle Hamilton.
Both are being evaluated. Kyle and Devin are both being evaluated right now. So we'll see tomorrow.
Tylan is a guy going back to training camp, talked about trying to make the team and so forth.
Welcome in, Jason. What's up?
Here we are.
Yeah, Harbaugh, 61 years old, right? Okay, yeah.
Makes that sort of play doesn't go down, on the sideline. What does that say, I guess, about him as a player, where he's come from there to now?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. To me, like, words couldn't express what it says. It says what you see, and you see it. That says it all, And I think that point right there that you just made is it. That's the beauty of this whole thing. That's why we're riveted by the game, by the players who play the game and their stories. It's just, I just love it. I just love it. To me, again, Advent, man, amazing events.
Take us through just the the significance of that drive by Lamar at the end to tie the game or to put you guys up. Could you also, if you recall, was Zay the first option, 2-point conversion? How did that?
The first option was the flat Isaiah, the first, and then Lamar held it. I mean, it looked like he might have got it in there for the 2-point on that one, but Lamar, I guess he wanted to make sure, and he's got so much poise. The drive, the long yardage, the touchdown pass on the 3rd and long, that was an incredible throw, incredible catch. Zay making that grab like that on the run, and then the 2-point play, it's like we said, Lamar.
John, what did you see on the Demarcus Robinson touchdown? You tried to challenge it, but they didn't allow you to?
Yeah, I was kind of looking, just, there's more about getting a timeout. I thought maybe he stepped out of bounds, but
And that's what I thought too. And those y'all can go back and look at the highlights. There was the play he's talking about where Jason, what's up, man? It's great to see you. Thank you for coming in, Jason. It was the play that he's talking about was when Stafford threw the ball, Matthew Stafford threw the ball, and he caught it, and it was clearly a touchdown. And John Harbaugh threw the challenge flag. I'm like, but you can't challenge touchdowns anymore because they automatically reviewed anyway. So I was like, what is he throwing the challenge flag? It's clear and evident that Demarcus Robinson caught the ball, secured 2 feet, had control, touchdown. Here you see Harbaugh fling that flag, and I'm like, is he really doing this for the simple fact of just buying time? But if you was going to do that, you just call a timeout. Maybe he wanted extra time to set up his defense. He already knew the Rams were going to go for 2-point conversion, and so you get extra time because they were trying to figure out, can this be reviewed? And so I guess the Ravens got like an additional 2 or 3 minutes to set up their play. And what happened? The Rams didn't get their 2-point conversion because the defense was ready for it. So that's what they were talking about. For those who don't know, he called a timeout. I was very confused as to why you would call a challenge flag on a play that's clearly a touchdown. McFarland, what's good again? Welcome to the podcast. How you feeling today? How was your day today, man?
I know they look at that, but really what it was just getting organized for the 2-point play call. They go fast in those now. They don't give you time really, and I think we all did, but I really wanted to make sure we had the right call. So that's a way to get a timeout right there from 20 yards away.
John, what was the explanation on Lamar? They called it a sack, but it looked pretty clear that he had gotten it complete and they wouldn't replay it.
They didn't explain it. They just said he was down by contact. They said we're going to wind it right away.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
So John Harbaugh actually answered a lot of the questions.
My love of engineering?
He actually answered a lot of the questions that I had for myself. One was, why did he challenge that play when it was a touchdown? And 2, about that Lamar Jackson play where he clearly got the ball out of his hands, and they said it was a sack down by contact, which made it from, instead of 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 12, it was 3rd and 17, which could have been a really big play. Luckily, the very next play, Lamar found Zay Flowers in for the touchdown. But that could have been a really big play. You know what I'm saying? Jason and Farland, welcome into the podcast. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this game. Lamar Jackson. We talk about Lamar Jackson every single week. Why? He's a headline. He's a headline. He's a guy that you cannot talk about if you're not talking about the Ravens. If you're talking about the Ravens. Lamar Jackson was not perfect in this game, but he was really good in terms of making the plays when he needed to. The end of the first half, 2-minute warning. The Ravens ran their 2-minute offense. Lamar Jackson looked pretty good. They didn't get a touchdown, but they got a field goal. The end of the fourth quarter and 2-minute offense, Lamar Jackson looked good. Now, every other part of the game, he was all right. He was average. But the 2-minute drill, Lamar Jackson was scrambling, making plays. He looked really good. You know what I'm saying? And so Ravens fans are so used to Lamar Jackson having to be Superman every single game. But now that we have Odell, we have Flowers, we have Aguilar, we have weapons. Lamar Jackson does not need to take off the cape and literally every single play save the Ravens. And here's an example why. OBJ got a big touchdown grab. Isaiah Likely a big touchdown grab. Aguilar was clutch when he needed to be. Zay Flowers, when you need Zay Flowers, he's there. Matter of fact, you don't believe me. Let's look at the numbers here. Let's look at the numbers here, and the numbers will kind of tell us everything that we need to know. Let's look at the numbers here. So, Lamar Jackson, 24-43. Now, coming up into like the last couple of weeks, Lamar Jackson was the #1 completion percentage guy in the league. The last few games that has fallen down a little bit, but he's still accurate. Lamar Jackson, 24-43, 316. Shout out to Austin. 316, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Anytime Lamar Jackson is going over 300 yards passing, you can kind of gauge what kind of game this was. When Lamar Jackson is in the flow of the offense, Lamar Jackson usually has around 220, 230, 250 yards passing, another 60 yards rushing. So these numbers, even if you didn't watch the game, could give you an indication of how Lamar Jackson was doing. Because Lamar Jackson, it's rare that Lamar Jackson goes over 300 yards passing in a game. Because the Ravens have a balanced offense. They are a good running team. They're a good passing team. So because of that balance, you don't need Lamar Jackson throwing 300 yards. So the fact that Lamar Jackson threw 316 yards tells you the kind of game this was. The first touchdown, Isaiah Likely, it was in the flat. He ran from the flat onto the left hash of the sideline, wide open. I don't know, it was like a busted coverage. The Rams literally blew the coverage. Isaiah Likely was wide open on the left side of the field. Lamar Jackson found him, touchdown. Isaiah Likely did the rest. There was another play, OBJ for the second touchdown. OBJ did a double move. He looked like he was going in, and he went back out. And the safety bid on it. For some reason, they were playing too high safety, which means that you have help. The cornerback has help over the top. So even if Odell Beckham beats the cornerback has safety help. So how did a double move work on too high safety? Makes no sense. That's how good Odell Beckham is. Odell Beckham faked the safety like he was going into the middle of the field. Then he cut back out into the left hash of the field. He's wide open. Lamar Jackson actually underthrew the ball. Thankfully, OBJ had so much space where the defender couldn't get their hands on the ball and deflect it. Because Lamar actually underthrew that ball. But OBJ was so wide open that I could make that throw. That's how open OBJ was. I can make that throw. And I'm not even a professional. So the key to this game was the big play offense. The offense was big play. Isaiah Likely, he had a 54-yard touchdown. OBJ had a 46-yard touchdown. The plays were huge in this game. The Rams weren't giving up a lot of dink and dunk, but what the Rams were giving up, they were giving up that big play. They gave up the big play to OBJ, Isaiah Likely, even the touchdown to Zay Flowers on 3rd and 17. How do you allow that? How do you allow that? You have the lead. How do you allow on a 3rd and 17 where the Ravens clearly, I think the score was 28 to 24 or 28 to, I forgot what the score was. A field goal, the Ravens would still be down by, I think it was 28-24. I think that's what the score was. I forgot what the score was. But either way, maybe it was 31 to 28. I forget what the score was. The point is, you don't allow that kind of play on a 3rd and 17. You know the Ravens need a touchdown. How does Zay Flowers get open for a touchdown? The Rams were giving up the big play all game long. But in the hash marks, they played pretty good defense. The Ravens took advantage of busted coverage multiple times in this game. And that's the difference between why the Ravens won this game versus the Rams. Because if you take away those busted plays, the Rams would have won this game by at least 20 points. The Rams came to play. They came into this game on a 3-game win streak. I mean, granted, they really didn't beat anybody. They beat Arizona. The only game that they beat Seattle, Arizona, and Cleveland. The only credible win on that lineup is Cleveland, because Cleveland plays good defense. The Seattle win is kind of good, but it's not like what this game would have been had they won this game. They played pretty good. That's why I said my YouTube short yesterday, the Rams are one of the best 6 and 7 teams I've seen. Yeah, they have 7 losses, but they're really good. And if they somehow get into the playoffs, they're going to be dangerous. I'm not saying they're going to win, but you have a good coach. You have Aaron Donald. You have Cooper Kupp. You have Matthew Stafford. And I forgot the other guy's name. Puka Nuka. I know I botched his name, but you can see it. They have weapons. You have a guy that catches 100 balls a season in Cooper Kupp. You got Puka that can catch the ball. The guy Williams, he was going crazy against the Ravens. The Ravens don't normally allow 100-yard rushers. This man had 114 yards against this Raven defense. So you got a good coach, you got a good quarterback, you got receivers, you got Aaron Donald. If they can just clean up that back end, secondary-wise and linebacker-wise, the Rams are a legit team. They're one of the best 6 and 7 teams I've seen. I didn't think the Ravens were going to, the Ravens have a history of destroying NFC teams at home. Evident of the blowout against the Lions, the blowout against Seattle. I thought this game was going to be another one of those kind of games, because when the Ravens go against NFC teams at home, the games are no contest. This game was a contest, and the Rams should have won this game. The reason why I think the Ravens are a good team is because the old Ravens would have lost this game. The new Ravens found the way to win. You know why? Because they have weapons. There was this narrative a couple years ago, if the Ravens are down by 2 scores or more, Lamar Jackson can't lead this team to a win. That narrative is done. Lamar Jackson has proven, even last year, that if I'm behind, I can still bring this team back to win. That's the difference between this Ravens team versus previous teams. Lamar Jackson has weapons now, and he can throw the ball downfield. He didn't have an OBJ. He didn't have a Zay Flowers. You take those guys out the lineup, they would have lost this game by 21 points. The only reason why is because the defense has been consistently playing good all year. This is one of the few games this year where the defense really gave up some yards here. Matthew Stafford and this running game, let's be real here, they had their way against the Ravens defense. This was a bend but don't break. When the Ravens need to make plays, like I said earlier, the Ravens defense made plays. But this is a bend and don't break type of game. I will give the Ravens defense a pass because almost every game this season, they've been dominant. This is one of the few games that they were not dominant. Thankfully, the offense was good enough to make this a game and to win the game. The reason why I know the Ravens are a good team is because you need offense, defense, special teams. Well, you got a little bit of that. You got a little bit of that in this game here. Offense came to play when they needed to. The defense was a bend but don't break. And of course, special teams won the game. You won the game on a return punt. All 3 phases of the game mattered in this particular game. Offense put up 31 points. Special teams got the game-winning touchdown. In overtime, when the Rams had the ball, the defense got a 3 and out. So when they needed to make a stop, they did. And they allowed the ball to be kicked to the special teams, and we won the game. So in order to have a good team, you need to have all 3 facets working on one accord. Bergano, what's goody with you, man? Welcome into the Double R podcast. Thank you so much for being here, man. I'm sorry, I'm in. When I talk Ravens, I'm in it. So excuse me for I apologize for that. But this team is 10-3. They're really good. They are tied for the best record in the league. This team is really good. And I still don't think the offense is even peaked. I really still don't believe that. Yeah, Lamar Jackson had 300 yards rushing. Yeah, Lamar Jackson almost had 400 yards of total offense. I still don't think this offense is really peaked yet, because there were moments in this game where the Rams defense put the clamps on the Ravens. Also, Lamar Jackson missed some overthrows, which has been an Achilles heel for him this year, because receivers have been getting open downfield. Lamar Jackson be missing them sometimes. He's very good in the short intermediate game between the hash, but sometimes them deep throws, he missed. Even the one to Odell Beckham, it was short. Odell Beckham was just so wide open that anybody could have made that throw. But Lamar Jackson technically missed that throw as well. Hassan, what's goody with you? What's goody with you? Let me get back into the comments. I need Lamar Jackson my 300 yards. Well, he had 300 yards, McFarlane. Tiffy, I'm glad you home safe. Thank you for that, Tiffy. I won't say he's that good, but he's always been on a defensive radar. Are you talking about OBJ? I don't see you talking about OBJ. Well, here's the thing. You still have to respect OBJ though. Yeah, he's not the OBJ of old, but you see what happens. He put a double move on you. Not too many guys can pull that off. So yeah, he's not the OBJ of old, but not too many people can just hit a double move and get that open for a touchdown. You still have to respect OBJ's ability, even if he's a shell of himself, if you even want to say that. It's OBJ. You can't just leave him one-on-one and think he can't burn you. So yeah, even if he's not as good as he used to be, the respect level still has to be there. You still have to respect OBJ. And that's the beautiful thing, because if you do that, you got Zay Flowers that can burn you. Rashad Bateman, when he wants to play, he can burn you. Isaiah, so you put all your eggs in one basket on OBJ, you got other weapons. If you want to leave OBJ singled and worry about Zay Flowers, OBJ can beat you. Like I said, if you look at the play, Jason, or anybody, look at the touchdown. It's a too high safety look. The cornerback is initially covering Odell. You got two safeties in the back to make sure the big play doesn't happen. That's the whole reason why you play too high safety, is to not allow the big play. Well, how the hell did the big play happen? You got two safeties that are covering deep. How did the big play happen? Because the greatness of OBJ, and also the lack of playing your role on defense also played a role. Because the safety, he bit on OBJ's first move to the inside of the field. OBJ cut it back and was wide open. So it was a little bit of good by OBJ and a little bit of bad by the Rams. But you still had so the reason why that worked though is because OBJ, as far as his tenure with the Ravens, a lot of his plays have been over the middle on slant routes. So you have to respect his ability in the middle of the field. So he played a mind game. He was like, all right, I know you're gonna respect my over the middle game. I'm gonna cut it back into the left side of the field. I'm wide open. You know what I'm saying? So there's a respect factor that OBJ still has that you just can't play bullshit defense against him. You can't play bullshit defense against OBJ just because you think he's not what he used to be. Because he almost had 100 yards in this game. So he clearly has ability. He clearly has ability that has to be respected. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what makes this Ravens team good, is that, okay, OBJ is not the OBJ of old, but you still have to respect his game. It's OBJ. If you take a look at the last 3 years for the Ravens never had a receiver like OBJ. So there was nothing to respect but Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson. If you stop those two or neutralize those two, you win the game, which is why the Ravens have not gone anywhere, because Lamar Jackson has always had to wear the Superman cape. And if you can just hone in on Lamar Jackson, even Superman can't save the city. He can't do it every single game. The beauty is now you have Superman, and you got Robin, and you got all these other heroes secondary to Lamar Jackson now that you have to respect. Which is why I think this Ravens team is actually going to do something this year, if they play their cards right, because they have balance on offense, defense, special teams. More specifically, on the offense, you got a good running game with Gus Edwards and Keith Mitchell. You still have to respect Lamar run the ball. You got a good passing game because even though Mark Andrews is out, you got Isaiah Likely. You got receivers now. You got Odell, Flowers, Aguilar, Bateman when he wants to play. You have weapons galore now. There is no excuse for this team to not be good. There is none because the weapons are there. Mark Andrews goes down. You still have another tight end that can get the job done. That's crazy. People are getting injured, but you still have talent. Injuries happen to every team. The good teams are the ones that have depth. How does your number one tight end go down, but you have another tight end that can fill right in? That can fill really right in. Yeah, is Isaiah Likely? I mean, is Mark Andrews? I mean, excuse me. Is Likely Mark Andrews? No, he's not. But damn it, he's really good. He's really good. He's not a Kyle Pitts. He's not a Kelsey. He's not a Kittle. But Isaiah Likely would be a number one on most teams' tight end roster. And the Ravens have him as a number two. And he's more athletic than Mark Andrews. And he can run after the catch a little bit better than Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is very good at creating space and getting open and making the touchdown plays in the red zone. Isaiah Likely, he can run after the catch. He's big. He's fast. If you look at his college tape, he was a receiver tight end hybrid, kind of like what Kyle Pitts is. He's not Kyle Pitts, but he has that same formula like Kyle Pitts. You can put Isaiah Likely as a receiver. You can put him as a tight end. You could put him in the block and then break off his block and run a route. He's talented like that. You know what I'm saying? So the Ravens have no excuse here to not go deep into the playoffs. As I mentioned, Kansas City is down. Jacksonville is a good team, but I think we can beat them. Miami is a very good team, but I think we can beat them. Buffalo is having a down year. Surprisingly, the Denver Broncos are a threat. They may be, with that defense, they may be a threat. But this is the Ravens' year to actually do something. I really do believe. I think Miami is the Ravens' biggest threat because the one concern I have with the Ravens is Marlon Humphrey. And that's crazy to say because Marlon Humphrey is an all-pro. But he cannot match up against Tyreek Hill, especially not one-on-one. When they play the Miami Dolphins in a few weeks, they're going to have to put two people on him. They're going to have to do that two high safety look all game. You got to have two people on top. There's no way Marlon Humphrey is covering Tyreek Hill one-on-one. He will burn him. And even if you put all your eggs in one basket to Tyreek Hill, you still got Waddle. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. But I can tell you one thing, the Ravens defense can't play like yesterday and play Miami because Miami will put up 44, 45, 50 points against the Ravens defense if the Ravens play like that. Because the Dolphins offense is more explosive than the Rams offense is. So the Ravens cannot play that kind of style or it's completely over. All right, let me get back to you. Said kind of like DeAndre Hopkins, you saw Odell. They always going to make space for teams. Yeah, exactly. Because you still have to respect their name. We play most good teams minus the Rams. Are you talking about? Are you referring to the Cardinals? Last great receivers y'all had were Mason and Bolden. Dog, that was a whole decade ago. That was a whole decade ago. Right? Is that show how long ago? Right? Crazy. Well, we had Steve Smith, but you know, Steve Smith was pretty good. I smell super. And here's the thing, Nomus, you ain't gotta wait long because the Ravens and 49ers play the following week on Christmas. You ain't gotta wait long, dog. I can't wait for that game. I do not think the Ravens are gonna win that game. And I hate to say I don't have faith in my team, but I don't know. The 49ers are really good and they're at home. And if the Ravens play like this, they're not beating nobody. But you don't have to wait long for that Super Bowl preview. We have the toughest schedule remaining out of anybody. We play Jacksonville at Jacksonville Sunday Night Football this coming week. We have the 49ers on Christmas Day, and we have the Dolphins right after the 49ers. We will see how good this Ravens team is. Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, and then the Steelers. We will all the questions that we have will be answered about this team. How good is this Ravens team when you match them against other good teams? I like it though, because the Ravens are clearly going to get to the playoffs. Clearly. You need to play teams like this in order to figure out how good you are. I like the fact that the Ravens are playing top contenders. The Ravens playoffs literally start next week, because from here on out, including the playoffs, every game is a playoff game. Jacksonville is a playoff team. 49ers is a Super Bowl possible team you could play. Miami is a team you're going to play in the playoffs. The Steelers, say what you want to say. The Steelers beat the Ravens early this year, and it's a rivalry game. Then, once you get into the playoffs, whoever that first opponent is a playoff game. So everything leading up into the playoffs is going to have a playoff-like atmosphere. So so yes, the Ravens may not win every single game, but I feel like they will be battle tested. They have everything they need to. There's no reason to take games off now. Yeah, you're 10-3, but you really can't take games off, because every game from here on out is a playoff-like game. So they will be battle tested. They really will be. These next couple games are going to be really show how good this team is, and I can't wait. Even if we lose, it'll put a measuring stick on where this team is. Last year, the Ravens got destroyed. Are we talking about against the Dolphins? Well, we got destroyed in the fourth quarter. We didn't get destroyed overall. We was beating Miami 35-14 until that last quarter, and Miami just decided to go Super Saiyan mode. Tyreek Hill went crazy. Well, actually, both of them went crazy because they both had 100-yard games. I hope that we get a Super Bowl rematch. Just like Kittle, Jacksonville going to lose in the playoffs. And I think we can beat Jacksonville next week. I really do. We should have beat them last year. We lost to them last year. We should have beat them last year. I really think this Ravens team is hungry, and I really do think the Ravens are going to come out there and show off against that Jacksonville team. So we'll see. All right, let's get on with the podcast here. So a couple things. Also on the screen, go check out Sly one more time for the promo here. Sly. So we got Sly Boost, Sly Chill, Sly Dream. I am now in a partnership with Sly. I've actually tried all these drinks. I've tried out every last one of these drinks. All vitamins, all minerals. Go get yours. Support your boy. The link is on the screen. The QR code is on the screen. The boost will really have you feeling boosted. For those who are wondering why I have so much energy right now, it's because I had a Sly Boost. I am amped up because the Sly Boost has got me in my zone right now. Go get your, if you want to feel amped up, if you want your brain to go to the next level, if you want to tap into the inner greatness of your brain, the boost will get you there. If you want to relax and chill and just vibe and relax, you know what I'm saying? Try that Sly Chill Out. The Sly Dream, ready to go to bed, ready to have a good night's sleep, go ahead and try that Sly Dream. It has melatonin in it, so it'll instantly put you to sleep in no time. Go get yours now, and everything is on the screen. If you need me to put it back up there, I will. I will put it back up there if anybody needs to put it back up there. Yes, I am sponsored with Sly now. And if you've been watching my Instagram stories like the last 2 weeks, I have been posting the cans on my Instagram story. And I have tried every single one, and all of them are good. And each one of these drinks are what they say they do. So the boost is going to give you a boost. The chill is going to make you feel relaxed. The dream is definitely for when you go to bed. No, it's okay, Jason. It's okay. You my guy. It's okay. It's okay. The whole reason why I'm advertising it right now is for that exact reason. I realize how social media is. You click, you look at somebody's shit. Are you really looking at it, or are you just clicking it? Most people don't really look at it. So I'm putting it in your face so that you can see it. You know what I'm saying? It's in your face now. So go try. My link is there. I also will put the link in Discord for anybody that wants to support me. I got you, Jason. I got you. After this stream, I got you, my guy. Don't you worry. I got you. Definitely go check it out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm sponsored. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna tell you some bullshit if I didn't think this shit was good. Like, I've tried every last one of these and all of them are good. And I'm on the boost right now. My brain is at another level right now. Like, my brain is at another level right now that it doesn't normally get to. You know what I'm saying? So it's the boost. So definitely go cop yours. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's talk about Kyle. Thank you for that burger. I appreciate that. Thank you. I will put the link in Discord. I'm also, after I get off here, I'm gonna put the link in my Instagram story so y'all can go do whatever y'all gotta do to support your boy if you can. You know what I'm saying? The drinks are really good. You know what I'm saying? All I'm asking for you is for you to try it out. See what it does for you. If you like it, you can continue to buy drinks off that QR code because you'll get a discount. You'll get a discount if you use those links. They're not in too many stores just yet because they've been in there are a few 7-Elevens, but they're not mainstream just yet. But I promise you, in the next couple months, over a year, you will start to see these drinks in your regular convenience store. You know what I'm saying? Because of how good they are and what they do. You know what I'm saying? I've tried Celsius, I've tried Sly, I've tried I forgot what the other one is called. But this one is really good. This Sly is really good. All right, let's get back into this real fast before we get out of here. Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton has a MCL strain. He played the game. He got injured. He came back in the game, and then he was questionable for the rest of the game. Never came back. From what I'm hearing from John Harbaugh and from the news today, it's a week to week. So for those who were concerned that Kyle Hamilton was going to be gone for the remainder of the season, that's not the case, at least from what I'm seeing. Devin Duvernay the same. So we all know Kyle Hamilton is a big part of this secondary. He needs to be on the field for this defense to be as good as they are. The reason why the back end of the defense is so good is because of Kyle Hamilton. The reason why they play good run defense for the most part is because Kyle Hamilton can play in the box as well. He's a box safety that can also play coverage. You need that kind of guy on your roster. You really do. You need that kind of guy on your roster to get you where you want to get to. All right, so Kyle Hamilton is not too serious from what I'm hearing. Devin Duvernay the same. Like I mentioned earlier, the big play offense. They had plays of Odell Beckham had a 46-yard play. Likely had a 54-yard play. Flowers had a 21-yard play. Keaton Mitchell had a 27-yard run. Lamar Jackson had a 16-yard run. This was a game about big play offense. Like I said, the Rams fumbled the bag when it came to giving up the big play. The short plays, they were pretty good, but they gave up those big plays way too much in this game, and that's the reason why they lost. Rashad Bateman, and I really don't want to talk about this subject too long because I love Rashad Bateman. I really do. I really, really do love Rashad Bateman, but I don't know what's going on with Rashad Bateman. If you look at one of the plays, just go look at it on YouTube. Lamar Jackson do it deep. He gave up on the play. It's like he ran. He was going full speed. He stopped, and then he realized the ball was coming to him, and then he was like, "Oh, I got to put the afterburners on." By that point, it was too late. I'm not really sure what's going on with Rashad. I feel like he's not fully involved in the game, and he's not getting many targets. If you look at the numbers, and we do this every single week, look at the targets. Look at the targets that we're seeing here. Odell Beckham, 10 targets. Zay Flowers, 10 targets. Rashad Bateman, 4 targets. Lamar Jackson coming into the season said Rashad Bateman is our #1 receiver. Not Odell, not Flowers. Rashad Bateman. Well, based on what I'm seeing this year, Rashad Bateman always is the one receiver that has the least amount of targets per game. So I'm starting to wonder what's going on here. Are you not getting open? Are you not getting open? Is Lamar just all fluff? Is Lamar just saying that just to keep the morale good? Because the results don't show that. He's not getting targets. When he's getting targets, he's not catching the ball or he's not giving full effort on the ball. I'm not sure what's going on with Rashad Bateman because I think he's really talented. But Zay Flowers is always leading the team in targets for the most part. Odell, the last couple of weeks, Odell has been leading the team in targets. Rashad Bateman? Yeah. Well, imagine at one point, Hollywood was the Ravens' #1 receiver. The thing about Hollywood is that Lamar Jackson was actually giving Hollywood the ball, though. That's the thing. He was our #1 receiver, too. Lamar was giving him the ball. He wouldn't always catch it, but Lamar was feeding him the ball. I'm not sure what's going on with Rashad Bateman. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with Rashad Bateman. He is not look like the #1 receiver like Lamar said he is. So I'm not sure what's going on there, man. I don't. But let's look at the numbers real fast. Let's look at the Rams because we already went over the Ravens. Matthew Stafford had a solid game, 23 of 41, almost had 300 yards, three touchdown passes, QBR 103. Williams, the running back, they got rid of Cam Akers early in the season. This guy Williams looks to be a real deal. 25 for 114, a 4.6 yards per carry. That's really good against that Ravens defense. And Cooper Kupp does what he normally does: 8 catches, 115. Puka Nuka. Like I said, I'm sorry. I heard the announcers say his name over and over again on the stream, and I still don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. 5 catches, 84 yards. He did his thing. He did have a big drop though. Puka Nakua. Okay, thank you. But he did have one big drop. That and was it overtime or fourth quarter? He had a big drop. He had a big drop in that game that was a game changer. It would have been a first down, but it wasn't. So just saying. People were concerned about Justin Tucker. People were concerned with Justin Tucker. Did Justin Tucker lose his game? Oh, he's having one of the worst. He's having one of the worst percentages of his career. Justin Tucker went 3 for 3 yesterday. So just in case you guys forgot, Justin Tucker is still that dude. Let's not act like Justin Tucker can't kick field goals. Justin Tucker nailed all his field goals. So let's cut the crap about Justin Tucker not having it. Justin Tucker did his thing. Exactly. I think the problem with Justin Tucker is he set the bar so high. So when he has those games where he misses this, and if you really look at the numbers closely, I forgot how many misses he has on a season, but at least 2 or 3 of those kicks were blocked. It's not like he's been missing. A lot of his kicks have been blocked this year. So it's not like he's been like flat out just missing to the left or missing to the right. He's missed a couple field goals short because the Ravens got him kicking 60-yard field goals at times. He can make it, but he had a couple of those short. He had a couple of those blocked. But it's not like he's out here shanking kicks. So if you're not watching him closely and you just look at the numbers, you can be like, oh, he's having a bad year. He's really not. You know what I'm saying? He's still that dude. Like, cut the crap. Cut the crap against Justin Tucker. Cut the crap. He's not bad. Ravens lead the league in terms of defensive yards per play. The Rams got 5.6 yards per play. The Ravens are around 4.3, 4.4 yards per play on defense. That's how you know the Rams had a good game, because the Rams had 5.6 yards per play. The Ravens had 6.3. So like I said, the Ravens were more explosive than the Rams were. But Ravens defense did not have their best game today. The Rams had 410 total yards. The Ravens I think the Ravens average about 280 yards or 270 to 280 yards on defense allowed. The Rams had 400 yards, so that tells you everything you need to know. They also led in time of possession. So it kind of tells you how this game went. The Rams had the ball a lot in this game. The Rams had 24 first downs, no turnovers. How do you lose this game? 400 yards of offense, no turnovers, more first downs, leading in time of possession, and you lose this game. The NFL is a funny game, man. It's a funny game. The Rams did what they had to do to win this game in a row. They still lost. Shout out to the Ravens for handling their business. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Ravens. They did what they had to do to win this game. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Ravens are 10-3. They go on the road on Sunday Night Football to play Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a playoff-like game against two teams that are really good. Even though Jacksonville lost yesterday against Cleveland, they lost to Joe Flacco of all people. But this is gonna be big for the Ravens because they can kind of put their foot on the throat of the Jaguars. They lost to Cleveland. They might lose to the Ravens. The Ravens can really separate themselves against the AFC's best with a win next week. And if they win next week, I won't feel too bad they lose against the 49ers. I won't, because that's a good team. So in summary, the Ravens are a good team. 10-3. Like I said, all their losses they should have won. Steelers, Colts, and Browns, they all should have won those games. The Ravens should be undefeated, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. They're not. At the end of the day, 10-3 is not bad. They are a playoff team, not officially, but more likely they're going to make the playoffs. And every game down the stretch is a playoff game. I'm happy for the Ravens because they will be battle tested. They're not going to have any cupcakes. Even the Steelers. Yes, even the Steelers. They're not a cupcake. They're not a cupcake. As bad, even though they lost to the Patriots and they lost to the Cardinals, the Steelers are not a cupcake. It's a rivalry game. You still have to respect the Steelers for what they do. You said punt returns like a Christmas present. Sometimes you love it. Sometimes you want to Exactly. The Rams played good enough to win this game. They gave him a punt return for the win. But they play good. All right. This is your boy Retro Double R Podcast. Thank you guys for being here. Tiffy, Jason, Noah, McFarlane, Gnome, everybody that came through, Hassan, thank you so much. I will try to be doing more podcasts as we get closer to the playoffs. I'm gonna try to do a post-game reaction and a preview. So maybe we'll do a podcast previewing the Jacksonville game, and we'll do. Excuse me, I'm a little congested, and maybe we'll do another podcast for the post game. Either way, you're gonna see more content on here, talking Ravens, and as we start to grow a little bit more, I may start talking about more sports. I want to get guests on the stream. Maybe Jason. Maybe we'll start getting some other fans like Gnome. You're a Lions fan. Maybe we'll get Jason as a Cardinals fan. Maybe we'll start getting some other fans on here to talk football, other than just Ravens. But we'll see if you guys want to do that. I thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. All right, this is the podcast. Next week is Jacksonville. I will be uploading some YouTube shorts, which is basically some snippets of what we talked about in this podcast. You'll see some snippets on my YouTube shorts in the next day or so. So check that out. Anyway, thank you so much. One more time. If you want some energy drinks that are gonna make you feel energized, relaxed, and have a good sleep, check out my slide. Check out the slide drinks. The link is right there. I promise you these drinks will have you feeling really good, depending on what you're going for. If you want to feel relaxed, we got the chill. If you want to feel energized and have your brain reach potential that you never thought it could, the boost. If you want to have a nice sleep with some nice melatonin, the Slide Dream. This is your boy Retro Recap. I will be dropping a link in my Discord for anybody that wants to check out all this information here. This is your boy Retro Recap. Jason, everybody, we are out of here. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.